Today, we're diving into something that could completely transform healthcare as we know it, what I call the Maximalist AI approach to healthcare. This is a concept I am currently developing to utilize AI to the fullest extent to maximize healthcare for everyone. This is going to be a different kind of episode, one in which we're not going to complain about the problem of our broken healthcare system, but to explore how AI could help create a maximalist healthcare system, one that's designed to provide the maximum possible value to patients at the lowest possible cost. Let me throw some numbers at you. The United States spends about $4.9 trillion annually on healthcare. That's about $14,570 per person, and that's in 2023 dollars. So like the cost of eggs, it's even more expensive now. That's nearly double what other wealthy nations spend, yet somehow we have lower life expectancy, higher rates of preventable deaths, and the highest rate of medical bankruptcy in the developed world. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is why I'm so excited to dive into this topic with you today. We're at a unique moment in history where three major trends are converging. First, AI has reached a level of sophistication where it can handle complex medical tasks, from analyzing scans to predicting patient risks to serving as a personal coach, nutritionist, therapist, healthcare advocate, and trusted advisor to help navigate your way through the complex healthcare landscape. AI is only going to improve further with artificial general intelligence coming, and may already be here. AI agents, and artificial superintelligence, or ASI, which is on the horizon. Second, new weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Mounjaro are about to create a wellness window. Millions of Americans will soon be healthier than they've been in years, creating a perfect opportunity for us to revolutionize preventative care. And third, we now have cloud-based digitization of healthcare and manufacturing systems that could completely transform how we handle patient data, provide scalability to treatments, produce and distribute medications, making them more affordable and accessible than ever before. Welcome to Apprentice.io's Industry Insights. I'm Frank Maggiore, and today we're going to explore how these trends could come together to create something revolutionary, a healthcare system that's proactive instead of reactive, personalized instead of one-size-fits-all, and actually focused on keeping you healthy rather than just treating you when you're sick. This includes AI health coaches that monitor your vitals 24/7 and help push you to exercise more to be the best of your ability. Personalized nutrition plans based on your personalized preferences and measured activity levels. At-home telemedicine, automated clinics and testing centers conveniently located in your neighborhood, and medications manufactured on demand based on real-time patient needs. And the best part? All of this could actually cost less than what we're paying for it now. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the future of healthcare. And trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll never look at your doctor's appointments or your medical bills the same way again. Let's dig into why our healthcare system is in desperate need of transformation. And I promise this won't just be a doom and gloom session, because understanding the problem is the first step to fixing it. You know how they say America is number one? Well, when it comes to healthcare spending, we definitely take the crown, but that's not exactly something to celebrate. We're spending 17.3% of our entire GDP on healthcare alone. For perspective, that's like taking almost $1 out of every 5 in our entire economy and putting it into healthcare. And what are we getting for all that money? Well, here's where things get depressing. Despite spending nearly twice what other developed nations do per person, Americans live about 4 years less than people in comparable countries. We have higher rates of preventable deaths, more chronic diseases, and this is the one that really gets me, the highest rate of medical bankruptcy in the developed world. Imagine going bankrupt in the richest country on earth because you got sick. It happens every day here, and we all tolerate it because we think it happens to someone else until it happens to us or someone that we love. But here's what really shows how broken the system is. Nearly a third of Americans lack access to primary care services, and 40% of U.S. adults say they're delaying care or going without because of the financial costs involved. That means we routinely put off preventative care until the problem becomes so bad we end up in the hospital, which costs us and the healthcare system significantly more than trying to fix the issue early on. Because we don't have a preventative care system, we have a healthcare system made of duct tape, sticking our head in the sand and ignoring the underlying problems until our bodies ultimately fail us. Only about 1/5 of U.S. adults get an annual physical, and a shocking 18% of Americans haven't seen a doctor in 5 years or more. Now, you might think this is just about people not having insurance, but here's the kicker. 34% of Americans with insurance cite high copays as the main reason they avoid doctor's visits. We've created a system where people are paying for insurance they're afraid to use for basic care. And it's not just patients who are suffering. Doctors today spend about 2 hours of paperwork for every 1 hour they spend with patients. Insurance companies have essentially weaponized physicians' time, making them spend hours on the phone begging to cover treatments their patients need. It's like making a master chef spend most of their day filling out forms about the food instead of actually cooking. The COVID pandemic exposed another massive vulnerability in our system, our dependence on foreign manufacturing for critical medications. When China shut down in early 2020, it wasn't just our supply of masks that was threatened, it was our entire pharmaceutical supply chain. We discovered that about 80% of our active pharmaceutical ingredients were being manufactured overseas. That's like building a hospital and having the key to the front door kept in another country. But here's where things get interesting and why I'm actually optimistic about the future. We're about to hit what I call a wellness window. New medications like Wegovy, Ozempic, and Mounjaro are transforming how we treat obesity and diabetes. We're talking about medications that can help most people, but not everyone, lose around 15 to 20% of their body weight, which are reliable results we've never seen before with any previous treatments. This creates an unprecedented opportunity, with 30 to 40% of the U.S. population expected to eventually go on anti-obesity medications in the next 10 years. Millions of Americans are about to be healthier than they've been in years, and most will see this as a second chance to adopt healthier lifestyles. But our healthcare system isn't set up to support this transformation. Right now, healthcare is structured around keeping cholesterol low, preventing heart attacks and strokes, and occasionally screening for cancer. We're not prepared for a population that's actually ready and able to focus on prevention and wellness. The industry as a whole isn't prepared for this shift, and plenty of health gurus and snake oil salesmen are ready to step in with bad but profitable advice for themselves. This is where AI and modern technology could completely transform how we approach healthcare, not just treating disease, but actually helping people stay healthy in the first place. So what exactly do I mean by a maximalist approach to healthcare? Let me paint you a picture of healthcare reimagined, not as a system you fight against, but as an invisible support network that surrounds you, protecting your health and enhancing your life without constraining it. This is the maximalist AI healthcare vision, and it's closer to reality than you think. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where your healthcare system works for you, not against you. Where instead of waiting until you're sick to see a doctor, you have an entire team of AI healthcare professionals monitoring your well-being 24/7, catching potential issues before they become serious, providing personalized advice, and helping you make better health decisions without dictating your life choices. Now imagine doing that for everyone who wants it, at a fraction of what we're currently spending on healthcare. This isn't about replacing doctors with robots or forcing everyone into a one-size-fits-all healthcare program. It's about using AI to create a healthcare system that's as unique as you are. Think of it as having a health entourage that's available to everyone, not just celebrities and the ultra-wealthy, except instead of costing millions like a celebrity's entourage, it's powered by AI and available to everyone. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's where AI comes in. Here's how it works. When you opt into the system, and yes, it's completely optional because your privacy matters, you get access to an AI health team that's tailored specifically to you. This isn't just one generic AI, it's a coordinated team of specialized AI agents, each with its own role in supporting your health. You get an AI nutritionist that understands your food preferences and cultural background, creating meal plans that actually fit your life, not just something you tolerate and not just telling you to eat more kale and hoping for the best. An AI fitness coach that knows your limitations and goals, adjusting your exercise recommendations based on your energy levels and schedule. An AI mental health coordinator that can spot signs of stress and anxiety, offering support strategies before things get overwhelming, or connect you with a human therapist when needed. But here's where it gets really interesting. All these AI agents working together, sharing information to provide truly comprehensive care. If your sleep monitor notices you're not resting well, it coordinates with your nutrition and exercise coaches to adjust your daily plan. If your vital signs suggest you're getting sick, the system can recommend early interventions that might prevent a full-blown illness. And the best part, all of this happens seamlessly in the background of your life. No more scheduling appointments months in advance. No more filling out the same medical forms over and over. No more wondering if you should go to the doctor or just wait it out. And we're not just talking about software. The system would integrate with a whole network of smart devices and home diagnostics. Your smartwatch would monitor your heart rate and sleep patterns. Smart scales could track not just your body weight, but your body composition. Smart toilets? Yes, they're a real thing. Could analyze your waste for early signs of health issues. It's like turning your home into a passive health monitoring system. But what about when you need more serious medical attention? This is where automated testing centers come in. Imagine walking into what looks like a high-tech phone booth in your local pharmacy. Inside, you'd find advanced diagnostic equipment that could perform everything from blood tests to ultrasound scans, all with AI guidance. Alternatively, the medical testing equipment could be a shared resource that's delivered directly to your home. You perform the testing following the step-by-step instructions, and then it's packed up and delivered to the next person. Either of these services would be available 24/7, no appointment needed, and could handle the majority of routine medical tests. The AI system would analyze your results immediately, and depending on what it finds, either provide reassurance that everything's fine, make recommendations for lifestyle changes, or connect you with appropriate human healthcare providers if needed. And because all of this is connected to your health record, your doctors would have access to a complete picture of your health, not just the snapshot they get during occasional visits. This system adapts to you, not the other way around. If you're someone who loves data and wants to track everything about your health, you can deep dive into the analytics. If you prefer a hands-off approach, the system quietly monitors in the background, only alerting you when something needs attention. For athletes, it can optimize performance. For people with chronic conditions, it can provide constant monitoring and support. For busy parents, it can simplify health management for the whole family. For elderly people, it can help you maintain your independence while ensuring safety. This isn't just about treating disease, it's about enhancing health. It's about creating a healthcare system that's proactive instead of reactive, personalized instead of standardized, and supportive instead of adversarial. Imagine a world where managing your health is as easy as managing your email, where catching a disease early is the norm, not the exception, where your healthcare system works to keep you healthy instead of just treating you when you're sick, where getting the care you need doesn't require fighting with insurance companies or worrying about bankruptcy. Now I know what you're thinking, but what about my privacy? I don't want AI knowing everything about my health. That's exactly why we need this to be a public-private partnership with strict regulations about data usage. Your health data would be encrypted and controlled by you, with you deciding what information to share and with whom. For the skeptics out there wondering if this is all science fiction, let me tell you, most of this technology exists right now. Companies like Forward are already rolling out AI-powered health clinics. Apple Watches can detect irregular heart rhythms. Smart toilets are being tested at Stanford. The pieces are there. We just need to put them together in a coordinated system. And here's the best part. This system could dramatically reduce healthcare costs. By catching health issues early, automating routine tasks, and making preventative care more accessible, we could potentially cut healthcare spending by 30 to 40% while improving outcome. That's like getting a better car for half the price. But this isn't about replacing traditional healthcare, it's about augmenting it. Think of it as adding a smart autopilot to healthcare. Pilots still fly planes, but autopilot handles routine tasks and helps avoid errors. Similarly, doctors and nurses would remain central to healthcare delivery, but they'd be supported by AI systems that help them work more efficiently and effectively, and provide an enormous wealth of data linked to each patient for clear insight on what is going on, to help recognize anomalies and patterns and recognize the precursors and early signs of illnesses before they happen. This isn't science fiction. These AI systems are already being developed. The sensors are already in our phones and watches. All we need is the will to put them together in a way that serves people instead of profits. This is the Maximalist healthcare vision, a system that's always on, always watching out for you, but never controlling you. A system that makes staying healthy easier and getting care simpler. A system that's finally worthy of the incredible medical advances we made in the 21st century. The future of healthcare isn't about choosing between human care and artificial intelligence. It's about using AI to make healthcare more human than ever before. Let's talk about something that could completely transform how we handle medical testing, what I call the medical equipment as a service model. Imagine instead of trying to diagnose complex health issues with just your Apple Watch, you could have a hospital-grade diagnostic equipment delivered to your door within hours, just like ordering a pizza. Think about it. Right now, if you need an ultrasound, you have to schedule an appointment weeks in advance, take time off of work, drive to the clinic, sit in a waiting room, all for a procedure that might take 15 minutes. But what if that ultrasound machine could come to you? We're not talking about cheap consumer gadgets here. These would be the same professional grade FDA approved devices used in hospitals and clinics. The difference is they'd be designed for automated or remote operation, kind of like those Da Vinci surgical robots, but for diagnostic procedures. Here's how it could work. Let's say your AI health system notices some concerning patterns in your vital signs. Instead of immediately sending you to the emergency room, it could request a portable diagnostic kit be delivered to your home. Within an hour, an autonomous vehicle or drone delivers a secure, sterilized package containing exactly what's needed. Maybe a professional-grade ultrasound device, an automated blood draw system, or a high-resolution dermatology scanner. The equipment would be totally secure and tamper-proof. Think of it like those Amazon lockers, but for medical devices. It only unlocks with your biometric data, and everything inside is pre-calibrated and validated. No more worrying about whether your home blood pressure readings are accurate. These would be the same devices as used in hospitals, just packaged for home use. The really clever part is how these devices could be operated. Some could be fully automated, guided by AI that shows you exactly where to place sensors or how to position yourself. Others could be controlled remotely by technicians or specialists. Imagine a trained ultrasound tech in another state or halfway around the world controlling a robotic ultrasound probe in your home, seeing exactly what they would see if you were in their clinic. And here's where it gets really interesting. These devices could be a shared resource used by multiple people in a community. After each use, they're picked up, professionally sterilized, recalibrated, and made ready for the next person. It's like a library loaner or a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, but for medical equipment. This makes high-end diagnostic technology accessible without everyone needing to own their own devices. The cost savings could be enormous. Instead of every clinic needing their own full suite of diagnostic equipment, much of which sits idle most of the time, we could have a pool of shared devices that are constantly in use where they're needed the most. Plus, by bringing the equipment to patients instead of patients to the equipment, we eliminate massive amounts of overhead costs. But perhaps most importantly, the system could dramatically reduce the load on doctors and clinics. Instead of spending their days doing routine scans and tests, healthcare providers could focus on analyzing results and treating complex cases. They'd have more time for patients who'd really need their expertise, while routine diagnostics could happen efficiently in people's homes. Let's talk about what happens to our medical professionals when AI handles the routine healthcare tasks. Because contrary to what some might fear, doctors don't disappear in this future. Instead, they're finally free to practice medicine the way they've always wanted to. Think about what doctors deal with today. They spend 2 hours on paperwork for every hour they spend with patients. They get pulled away from surgeries to argue with insurance companies. They rush through appointments because they're overwhelmed with routine cases that could easily be handled by AI. It's like having master chefs spend most of their time making toast. In a maximalist healthcare world, everything changes. Primary care doctors no longer spend their days prescribing basic medications or ordering routine tests. Instead, they become more like medical detectives, focusing on the complex cases that AI can't solve. The mysterious symptoms, the rare diseases, the unusual presentations that require human intuition and creative thinking working alongside AI. Surgeons don't waste time on paperwork or routine procedures that robots can handle. They focus on the most challenging cases, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in medicine. And because they're not burned out from overwhelming caseloads, they can actually innovate and advance their field. Specialists become true experts in their field, not just managing routine cases, but deep diving into research and development. When an AI flags an unusual case, these specialists can give it their full attention, collaborating with colleagues globally to find solutions. It's like having a worldwide medical brain trust focused on solving the hardest problems in medicine. But perhaps most importantly, medical professionals can finally focus on the human side of healthcare. When you're not rushing through dozens of appointments daily, you can actually take time to understand your patient's needs, fears, and hopes. The AI handles the data analysis and routine care, while human doctors provide the empathy, the insight, and the complex decision-making that machines can't replicate. Medical education evolves too. Instead of memorizing information that AI can instantly recall, doctors train to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. They learn to work alongside AI systems, understanding both their capabilities and their limitations. Medical schools become less about cramming facts and more about developing the uniquely human skills that complement AI capabilities. Research accelerates dramatically because doctors can actually dedicate time to it. When routine care is handled efficiently by AI, medical professionals can focus on advancing their fields. They can analyze the massive amounts of data collected by AI systems to identify new patterns and develop new treatments. Every unusual case becomes an opportunity to learn and advance medical knowledge. The role of nurses will transform as well. Instead of spending their shifts documenting everything and managing routine tasks, they can focus on what they do best, providing skilled care and human comfort to those who need it the most. The AI handles monitoring and alerts, while nurses use their expertise and emotional intelligence to provide truly personalized care. In essence, maximalist AI healthcare doesn't replace medical professionals, it elevates them. It frees them from the bureaucratic burden that's crushing healthcare today and lets them practice medicine at the highest level of their abilities. It's about using technology to make healthcare more human, not less. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This all sounds great, but how do we actually build this thing? Well, let's peek under the hood of what I call the Maximalist Healthcare Stack. And don't worry, I promise to keep this as jargon-free as possible. First up, we need serious cloud computing muscle. We're talking about handling health data for potentially millions of people in real time. It's like trying to coordinate traffic in every major city simultaneously. You need some serious processing power. This isn't just about storage, it's about being able to process and analyze massive amounts of data instantly. And when I say massive, I mean massive. Think about it. Every smartwatch tracking heart rates, every smart toilet analyzing samples, every home diagnostic device running tests. That's more data in a day than most hospitals currently process in a year. A single patient might generate several gigabytes of health data daily, which is stored in their encrypted personal healthcare passport. Multiply that by millions of patients, and you're looking at processing power that would make NASA jealous. But here's where it gets really interesting. The AI systems themselves. We're actually dealing with several different types of AI working together, like a high-tech orchestra. You've got your large language models, which handle natural conversations with patients. Think ChatGPT, but specifically trained on medical knowledge and bedside manner. Then you've got machine learning systems, analyzing test results and spotting patterns in health data. And then you've got generative AI, creating personalized healthcare plans. Then AI agents to manage the task and communication between AIs to come up with optimal treatment plans. Now, training these AI systems properly is crucial. It's like teaching a medical student, except this student needs to learn from millions of cases simultaneously. The AI needs to understand not just medical textbooks, but also real-world patient outcomes, genetic data, environmental factors, basically everything that could impact human health. And it needs to do this while avoiding biases that could lead to unfair or dangerous recommendations. But here's the million-dollar question. How do you keep all this data secure? Healthcare data is like catnip for hackers, and we're talking about collecting more health data than has ever been gathered in human history. That's why we need security in depth, multiple layers of protection like a medieval castle with moats, walls, and armed guards. We're talking about end-to-end encryption, meaning data is scrambled anytime it moves between systems. Blockchain technology to track who accesses the data and when. Zero trust architecture, which means every single request for data is treated as suspicious until proven legitimate. It's like having a bouncer who makes everyone show ID, even if they were just inside 5 minutes ago. Then there's the challenge of integration, getting all these systems to talk together. Your smartwatch needs to share data with your AI health coach. Your local testing center needs to connect with your doctor's systems. Your pharmacy needs to coordinate with manufacturing systems. It's like trying to get people speaking 100 different languages to have a conversation. You need really good translators. But even as we've seen in our field, AI is becoming very good at integration across various platforms and auto-translation services. This is where manufacturing execution systems, or MES, come into play. And MES is like a conductor of this technological orchestra. In pharmaceutical manufacturing, these systems already manage incredibly complex processes of producing medications, ensuring quality, tracking every ingredient, maintaining sterility, and coordinating production schedules. But in a maximalist healthcare system, MES platforms would do even more. They connect directly with AI health systems to predict medication demand. Imagine your AI health coach notices an uptick in respiratory symptoms in your city. It could automatically trigger increased production of relevant medications before there's even a shortage. These systems could supercharge personalized medicine manufacturing. Instead of mass-producing one-size-fits-all medications, we could produce customized dosages or combinations based on individual patient needs. Think of it like having a pharmaceutical 3D printer that can create exactly what each patient needs when they need it. The best part? All of this technology exists right now. We don't need to invent new types of computers or discover new physics. We just need to integrate existing systems in smarter ways and then scale them up. It's like we've got all the pieces of the puzzle. We just need to put them together. Let's talk about something that might not sound sexy at first, but is absolutely crucial to making healthcare more affordable. Manufacturing execution systems, or MES. Now I know what you're thinking. Manufacturing software? Really? That's your big healthcare solution? But stick with me here, because this is where the rubber meets the road in terms of actually lowering drug costs. Remember how during COVID, we suddenly realized that most of our medications were being manufactured overseas? Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real problem is that pharmaceutical manufacturing is stuck in the batch mindset. Imagine if Toyota could only make cars 10,000 at a time, and each batch took 6 months to complete. That's basically how we make drugs right now. But modern MES platforms are changing the game completely. These cloud-based systems can transform pharmaceutical manufacturing from this rigid, batch-oriented process into something more like smart assembly lines. Instead of making massive batches and hoping demand matches supply, we can adjust production in real time based on actual patient needs. Let me give you a real-world example. Right now, if a pharmaceutical company wants to change from manufacturing a batch of insulin to a different batch with different concentrations or vial sizes, they have to shut down their entire production line, perform line clearance, perform changeover, adjust the equipment settings, clean everything, process the new batch, test it, and do the same process again every time. This can lead to downtime of the equipment in excess of 40%, depending on how often they are changing from one drug product to another. It's like having to deep clean your kitchen and have it inspected by the health department every time you want to make a different sandwich. But with modern MES platforms, depending on the process, we could potentially use continuous manufacturing. Instead of massive batches, we can make medications in a continuous flow, like a river of medicine. The system constantly monitors quality, automatically adjusts parameters, and maintains perfect documentation. It's like having 1,000 quality control experts watching every step of the process, 24/7. And here's where AI comes into the picture in a big way. These systems can learn from every batch they produce. They start recognizing patterns that might lead to quality issues before they happen. Imagine if your car could tell you it was about to break down 3 weeks before any problem showed up. That's basically what these systems can do for drug manufacturing. But it gets even better when we talk about supply chain optimization. Modern MES platforms can connect directly with healthcare providers, pharmacies, and distributors. They can see in real time when demand for certain medications is increasing and adjust production accordingly. It's like having a crystal ball that tells you exactly what medications people will need, as well as when and where they'll need them. This capability is crucial for reshoring pharmaceutical production back to the United States and other Western countries. One of the main reasons manufacturing moved overseas was cost. But when you combine smart manufacturing systems with automation and continuous production, suddenly the math changes. You don't need massive factories with thousands of workers anymore. You can have smaller, highly automated facilities closer to where medications are actually needed. Think about what this means for something like personalized medicine. Instead of making one-size-fits-all drugs at massive batches, we could have local manufacturing facilities producing customized medications based on individual patient needs. The same systems that ensure quality and compliance in large-scale production can be applied to small, personalized batches. Let me give you another example that shows why this is so revolutionary. During the pandemic, vaccine manufacturers had to scale up production faster than ever before in history. The companies that succeeded best were the ones with advanced MES platforms that could handle the complexity of mRNA vaccine production while maintaining perfect quality control. It was like conducting a 1,000-piece orchestra where every note had to be perfect, and these systems made it possible. We know because we were there working hand in hand with our partners in the middle of the maelstrom. Just-in-time manufacturing is another game changer. Instead of stockpiling medications that might expire, we can produce them as needed. The savings are enormous, not just in terms of reduced waste, but also in storage costs, transportation, and inventory management. It's like the difference between having to store a year's worth of groceries versus being able to get exactly what you need, when you need it, from a store right down the street. But perhaps most importantly, these systems are helping to prevent drug shortages. By connecting manufacturing directly to healthcare providers and pharmacies, we can spot potential shortages months in advance and adjust production accordingly. No more situations where critical medications suddenly become unavailable because someone, somewhere, miscalculated demand. So how do we actually make this maximalist healthcare vision a reality? Well, let's talk about the road ahead. And don't worry, we don't need any flux capacitors or time machines. Just some good old-fashioned policy changes and smart implementation strategies. First up, regulation. Now I know regulation is usually where excitement goes to die, but stick with me here. The FDA is actually already working on frameworks for AI in healthcare. They've cleared over 700 AI-based medical algorithms as of 2024. But here's the thing, most of these are for narrow, specific use cases, like analyzing medical images. We need broader frameworks that can handle AI systems making more complex healthcare decisions. The key is setting up what I call trust but verify systems. AI can make recommendations, but there needs to be clear paths for human oversight and intervention when needed. Now let's talk policy changes, because this is where the rubber really meets the road. We need 3 big shifts. First, we need to change how we pay for healthcare. Instead of the current fee-for-service model, where providers only get paid for treating sick people, we need to incentivize preventing illnesses in the first place. Imagine if insurance companies paid more when their members stayed healthy rather than when they got sick. Crazy idea, right? Second, we need data sharing standards. Right now, getting your medical records from one hospital to another is about as easy as teaching a cat to fetch. We need universal standards for health data sharing, while maintaining privacy and security, of course. Third, we need to rethink drug manufacturing and distribution. Remember those manufacturing execution systems we talked about? We need policies that encourage domestic pharmaceutical production and allow for more flexible, on-demand manufacturing. But here's the part that gets me excited, the economic impact. Studies suggest that a maximalist AI healthcare system could reduce administrative costs by up to 70%. That alone would save hundreds of billions of dollars annually. Add in better preventative care, more efficient drug manufacturing, and earlier disease detection, and we're looking at potential savings of 30 to 40% on total healthcare spending. That's nearly $2 trillion a year, folks. So what's the timeline look like? Well, let's break it down into 3 phases. Phase 1, which we're entering right now, is what I call the early adopter phase. Over the next 2 to 3 years, we'll see more AI health coaches, smart diagnostic devices, and automated testing centers popping up. Think of it like the early days of smartphone. Expensive, a bit clunky, but showing huge promise. Phase 2, probably 3 to 5 years out, is the integration phase. This is when we'll start seeing these systems working together seamlessly. Your smart toilet will talk to your AI health coach, which talks to your local pharmacy, which talks to the manufacturing plant. It's like watching the healthcare equivalent of the internet coming together. Phase 3, 5 to 10 years from now, is what I call the maximalist mainstream, when these systems become as common as smartphones are today. By then, the idea of not having an AI health team will seem as strange as not having a cell phone today. For healthcare organizations looking to get ahead of this curve, here are the key next steps. Start digitizing everything, and I mean everything. Every process, every procedure, every data point. You can't automate what you haven't digitized yet. Invest in cloud infrastructure and data security. Think of it like building the foundation for a skyscraper. You need it to be rock solid. Begin pilot programs with AI systems and narrow, specific use cases. Maybe start with something simple, like appointment scheduling or prescription refills. It's like learning to walk before you can run. And most importantly, start training your staff now. The AI healthcare workers of tomorrow need to be comfortable working alongside AI systems. It's not about replacing jobs. It's about augmenting human capabilities with AI assistance. As we wrap up today's exploration of maximalist healthcare, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What we're witnessing isn't just another technological revolution, it's potentially one of the biggest transformations in human health since the discovery of antibiotics. Think about this, we're standing at the intersection of multiple technological breakthroughs. On one hand, we have AI giving us unprecedented abilities to understand the machinery of life through tools like AlphaFold. On the other hand, we have got cloud-based manufacturing execution systems that can track and validate every decision from lab bench to patient bedside. Add in the explosion of biotech capabilities we've seen since the mRNA breakthroughs, and we're looking at a perfect storm of innovation. The companies leading this charge are diverse, from tech giants like Google's DeepMind and Microsoft to innovative pharma companies like Moderna and In Silico Medicine, to countless startups pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Even traditional pharma companies are transforming themselves, embracing AI and digital technologies to revolutionize their R&D processes. But here's what gets me really excited. For the first time in human history, we have the tools not just to treat diseases, but to potentially prevent them before they start. We can design treatments at the molecular level, test them without risking human lives, and manufacture them with incredible precision. The impact on individual lives could be profound. Imagine walking into a doctor's office with a complex condition, and instead of going through months or years of trial and error with different treatments, AI systems could help identify the perfect therapy for your specific genetic makeup and circumstances. Not in some distant future, this is starting to happen now. We're already seeing AI-designed drugs entering clinical trials in record time. Costs that once seemed fixed are beginning to fall. Processes that used to take years are being compressed into months. And perhaps most importantly, the success rates for new treatments are starting to climb. But let me be clear, this isn't about replacing human expertise. It's about augmenting it. The future of healthcare isn't AI versus humans. It's AI and humans working together, each bringing their unique strengths to the table. The creativity, intuition, and ethical judgment of human healthcare providers combined with AI's ability to process vast amounts of data and spot patterns that we might miss. The call to action for everyone listening is clear. Whether you're a healthcare provider, a developer, a regulatory expert, or someone who simply cares about the future of medicine, get involved. The transformation of healthcare isn't something that's happening to us, it's something we're actively creating together. For those in the industry, now is the time to start building that expertise and infrastructure needed to thrive in this new era. For those in technology, there are countless opportunities to contribute your skills to one of the most important challenges facing humanity. And for everyone else, stay informed and engaged. These advances will impact all of our lives. Remember, every major historical breakthrough in history seemed impossible until it wasn't. Vaccination, antibiotics, organ transplants, they all faced skeptics who said it couldn't be done. Now we're standing on the brink of another revolution, and this time, we can see it coming. The future of medicine isn't about treating diseases, it's about understanding them at their most fundamental level and developing treatments that are more effective, more personalized, and more accessible than ever before. With AI as a partner, we're not just dreaming about this future, we're building it. One molecule, one patient, one breakthrough at a time. That's what makes this moment so exciting. The future of healthcare isn't something that's happening to us, it's something we're creating together. In an industry where precision and compliance are paramount, Apprentice's Tempo platform offers a cutting-edge manufacturing execution system solution. It's cloud-based, mobile-first, operator-centric, with the most intuitive UI in the industry, making it perfect for today's dynamic pharmaceutical manufacturing environments and for the production of the world's most complex drug products. Whether you're working on groundbreaking cell and gene therapies, biologics, or small molecules, Tempo provides a fully validated MES system that's both powerful and easy to use. It streamlines your processes, ensures compliance, and adapts to your specific manufacturing needs. So get off of paper batch records and discover how Apprentice's Tempo Manufacturing Cloud can transform your operations by visiting us at apprentice.io. Attention industry professionals, revolutionize your manufacturing process with the Apprentice Tempo Manufacturing Cloud, a manufacturing execution system built to streamline your operations, boost efficiency, and ensure compliance all in one powerful platform. Experience the future of manufacturing with our free 30-day trial. Scan the QR code on your screen now to unlock a world of innovation. Don't just keep pace, set the tempo as an industry leader with Apprentice. That's all for Apprentice.io's Industry Insights. I'm Frank Maggiore. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications when new episodes drop. Please comment on if you have any additional topics you would like for me to cover in this space, and we'll see you next week for more Industry Insights.